You think you're finally done fixing your car, you take it out for a road test and you hear a noise. So you grab the wheel that you think the noise is coming from, you shake it. That's not a good thing, of course, so we have to diagnose it. But plot twist, we're gonna diagnose it together. That's right, every step along the way, I'm gonna put options on the screen. I want you to pick the one that you think is right for this situation. I'll give you the right answer at the end, but I want you to write them down, put them in the comment section, and we'll see how many you get right. Let's talk about the first thing that I noticed, and that is the noise. There was a rumbling or a growling noise coming from the front right as I was driving. Noises can come from many areas on a vehicle. So for this particular question, let's see if you can guess what it is based on the information I just gave you about what the noise sounds like. Now, could it be from the brakes? Could it be a wheel bearing? Could it be tire noise? Or this being a four-wheel drive truck, could it be differential bearings? It's time to do a little bit of explaining to be able to pinpoint the right answer. Not only is this a rumbling or a growling noise, which is typical of a tire or a wheel bearing, so that rules out the other options. Also, it seems to get louder or quieter depending on which direction I'm steering in. I can also rule out it being a tire issue because if you look at it, it looks nice and flat. Usually chopped or unevenly worn tires are where the noise comes from, and you can see it because usually it looks like little mountain peaks or flat spots on a tire. So in this case, the wheel bearing is the right answer. So let's take this wheel off and diagnose further because we also have play. Play can come from multiple areas on the front suspension. Of course, we have to pinpoint where that's coming from. Is it a different issue or is it the same issue? When I shook the wheel earlier, I shook it top and bottom and left and right, and it had play in both directions. Now that's a good clue right there. So, based on that, do you think it could be the ball joints, the tie rod, the wheel bearing, or loose lug nuts? Technically, loose lug nuts could have play in all different directions because, well, they're loose, the wheel's not on right. Now, I know that's not the case because when I took the wheel off, the lug nuts were nice and tight. When it comes to ball joints, they have play top and bottom. Sometimes, if it's just a subtle amount, if you try to squeeze it with large pliers or even put a pry bar in there to pry down or up on them, you will see them collapse a little bit. In this case, everything's nice and tight. Tie rods, on the other hand, they only have play left and right. You can't have play top and bottom because they're mounted on either the front or the back of the knuckle, not at the top or on the bottom. So we can rule that out, which leaves us with the wheel bearing. Let's say you wanted to listen to the wheel bearing very carefully and detailed without actually driving the vehicle. Maybe the circumstance that you're in doesn't allow you to pinpoint it very precisely, so you want just that wheel spinning. So you lift up the vehicle and you have one of four options. You could use a wireless microphone that attaches to the back of the knuckle, or also on the back of the knuckle you could use a stethoscope, a screwdriver, a long one, or a pry bar. Which one do you think would be the best solution in this case? With the bar or the screwdriver, stethoscope, all of that, the noise transfers through the tool and you would put your ear up against it. The microphone, well, you would just record and then see what plays back. And this is kind of a trick question because the answer is all of them. All of these are a good enough tool to pinpoint because what you would do is then you go to another wheel and compare. If the comparison results in a difference, well, yeah, you have a problem. And for us, this wheel has some noise. Now with all of that information, I can determine that this truck needs a front right wheel bearing. And with the help of oneauto.com, I got myself one that I'm going to install. So it's clear that that's where our noise was coming from and that's where our play was coming from. So if you guessed all of those right with every question, good job. And of course, don't forget to torque everything to spec. And just as a tech tip, if you're thinking about tightening an axle nut to take away play on a wheel bearing, That's a big no-no, because what that does is, well, it could either do nothing, or it'll crush the wheel bearing completely, even more, and well, that's gonna result in an even worse wheel bearing. So definitely don't do that. Do it the right way, replace it, and if it's a bolt-on, well, you're in luck, because those are usually a little easier than the press-in bearings.